Aloha! Welcome to the second part of Living with the Delicious with Helena, with the internet celebrity guest, Lilou Macé. Welcome back, Lilou.
Thank you.
In first part, we covered your journey from the little girl to 10 million views. Mm-hmm. You shared about the understanding that you have now, how you have grown into you, wanting and accepting to be you the way you are, not Oprah. But I personally think that the way you affect people will be on a completely different level that Oprah is not even achieving, because it's something completely else. So I'm really glad for every video that you put on YouTube. It does so much for the world, and it's always there, the real person. You're not somebody who lives in a big expensive house. You're not somebody who has 20 bodyguards, personal chef, personal beautician. You're just a regular, wonderful girl with excellent accent, but...
Thank you.
So the girl who doesn't live in a mansion, where does she live today in 2011? Where do you live?
I really am traveling the world right now. I'm on something that I call the Juicy Living Tour.
Yes.
And it's a 12-month tour around the world, well, mainly the Americas right now. Mm-hmm. So I've been touring now for 6 months and meeting and interviewing people. So interviewing wonderful people, New York Times bestsellers, to really ordinary people living extraordinary lives. So I'm traveling, I live wherever I am. I mean, my home is wherever I am. I've been really traveling for 6 months, literally, and now that brought me to Hawaii for 6 weeks. Why not, right? You might as well choose juicy, fun places to be. There's a lot of spirituality here. There's a lot of beautiful, beautiful, open-hearted people. The beauty of the islands definitely helps. So right now I am living in Hawaii.
Nice.
Actually, I even
So
change as it goes. I'm a local. I'm a local, hanging
your
out with
Facebook
locals.
always changes.
Yeah.
From Kailua Kona, from Honolulu,
Yeah.
from...
So I receive little messages of people, so, oh really, you moved from Chicago to to Hawaii? I'm like, yeah, for the next 6 weeks.
Good, good.
I just like to have fun. And I can be very, very serious at times, though, because I have dedicated, hardworking ethics. That's how I produce, all those videos and all those interviews. Every day I interview maybe 2-3 people person, and then I edit them, I upload them. So
it takes a lot
I've
of time.
created pretty much a whole channel and network, being on my own and on the road and making it happen. There's some volunteers helping, but really, there's a lot of hours and hours of dedication, and I just love it. I cannot not do it.
So let's go before that dedication. Let's go to the problematic issue. We live in a modern economy, and you know all the stories about it. And you have an excellent job. You're director of marketing in England?
In England, yeah, in London.
And then you lose your job, and then you say you like it.
Yeah. I lost my job and I liked it.
So tell us about that.
I did like it, and I still do like it, and I'm still to this day so grateful that I lost my job, even though it was very, very scary. I had moved actually for this job from Chicago. I had lived in Miami for 6 years and in Chicago 2 years. And I decided, it was about time for me to come back to Europe. I felt the calling to go back to Europe. So London, I thought that's a good place. It's kind of not totally France. I was a bit scared to go all the way back to France. It was a bit too much of a contrast. But England, same language and Anglo-Saxon type of way of. So I thought, yeah, and really attracted effortlessly this position as director of online marketing, and that was really, I felt good, that was aligned, everything was working out, and that's really how I live my life, not really opening closed doors, continuously keep on opening those open doors, and whenever it works out nicely like that, I move forward. So I moved forward, but I moved everything. I sold my car, sold, everything that I had.
You moved from one continent to another.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yes. It was a big deal. And 7 months later...
did you have a contract for a year too?
It was unlimited. I was moving,
Yes.
And but the recession, the economy, and what was happening within the company also was just, it was at a point where my position had to be released. And I was very grateful. I was scared, but very, very grateful, because there was some tensions within the company. I had already a few million views online. I knew that there was, a potential for doing something else. In addition to hours and hours and hours of working there in that position, I was also in the evening starting to interview people online through Skype. And so something was going on. I was really, truly open to doing more videos and something. So when that happened, I said, this is a sign. This is a sign, it's time for me to jump.
Did you have a moment that you thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Oh yeah, many times. And that's what the book is about, is the 30 days after losing the job. I had panic attacks.
So this book is just from the very
beginning, right from the moment my boss called and said, and he even called me. He didn't even do this in person.
What did he say?
He said, your job is made redundant. And I said, by what time do you want me to leave? He said, pretty much when you're ready.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was your first reaction?
I was shocked. I felt very humiliated towards my peers, towards people that were there in the company. I felt just total loser, big L, crushed, the whole universe collapsed, you're like, wah. And then people start coming in the office, start telling you what's been happening, because this wonderful boss that I had sent an email to everybody to announce it by saying she's off to new pastures, new green pastures.
And you are.
Yeah, and I am.
You don't know your boss is that spiritual.
Yeah. But he actually, and that's the beginning of the story, is when I describe that moment where I was confused, because he was sending this email. So people were coming in my office and starting asking, oh, really? So what's going on? Where are you going? And what are you doing? And so this opened up a whole new scenario. I was like, yeah, what am I up to? Yeah, that's a good question. And I start opening up, and in that moment, within few hours, I start finding the exhilaration and the relief from it. And they're like, yeah, actually, with all those people asking me what to do, yeah, what am I going to do now with this blank page in front of me? I live in an expensive city. What am I going to do? How am I going to manage all this? What's going to happen? And I moved, and I can't go back to the US, and I stopped my company. I had for 8 years Emotional Brands, I was like, and I didn't have much savings, and what am I going to do? I had some, enough, and so I felt a little bit comfortable just for, few months.
Air is
few
free.
Months.
You can breathe for free, sunshine is free.
Yeah, and I went through a lot of panic attacks, but what was cool is because I had started the 100-Day Reality Challenge in 2005, I had done all those videos practicing, meditation and learning all the benefits of visualization and getting coaching and going to seminars and all that. I had those different things that I could use. And so,
and you did.
And I had the connection, yeah. So this is really how I shift my energy every single time when something would come up, what would I do, and how it's really the intimate journey within the moment, because I started recording as it happened. Actually, within a day after being fired, I started, oh my God, I want to share this experience right now in this gym, because I was going to this really expensive gym. And all of a sudden, the money and everything came in, and those things that I had committed, should I cancel everything? Should I cancel just all my life? How much? The whole panic. And but no, I decided to record every single step. And at the time, there was the song of Katy Perry, I kissed a girl and I liked it. And I kept on having this song, but I lost my job and I liked it. It was along those words, and that really gave me. Then towards the end of the book, I'm like, of course I have the title of the book. This is it.
I see. You kissed the girl.
Yeah, I liked losing my job, and so this is a series, and the second one is going to be released soon, and many, many more. Actually,
can we share the title of your new book on TV?
Well, the second one is going to be. Yeah, the second one is going to be I had no money, I have no money and I like it. Something like that. It's still a working title, but it's definitely a journey
maybe I lost
to the
my
open
money.
heart. It is. I had no money.
I have no money.
Yeah, it was really coming to the point where I had $10, 10 pounds on my account, and I was like, how am I gonna eat? How am I gonna do this? So it was very scary. I had huge fears, which ultimately I describe in the second book is this major opening of the heart that happened that I'm so grateful for. And I look up, but it's really inside and out because I am so happy to now be connected to the amazing juiciness of life and knowing and understanding that I'm the co-creator of it at the core of it.
So can you say, because that's also what I often get as a question about delicious, can you say that not having money can be juicy?
Yeah.
Can you say that not having a job can be juicy?
Yeah.
Can you say that having certain illness can be juicy?
Yeah.
And you mean it?
Yeah, I mean it.
Good.
I mean it, and I think we're facing, all of us, some different challenges that we're ready for at that time. And by moving in gratitude, as we spoke in part one, tremendously changes the energy of things, and something then happens and shifts, and you start seeing the gift of it. Neil Donald Walsh, that I love and that I've interviewed, that wrote Conversation with God, used to be homeless at the age of 52 for a year. He's living in a tent, didn't know how the food was going to come. And that's what he describes too. He's literally still in tears at this moment about his life back then. And if you haven't seen actually the DVD, it's a wonderful movie to watch. But it's like really, yes, and there is, and I've interviewed so many people too that have the diseases and that then overcome it and found true love in that moment. Not having money has actually freed me up to really see who I was beyond the car, beyond the car, beyond the little flashy car.
What was your car?
Beyond the...
You got a flashy car?
A little two-seater, kind of very,
Which
very
kind?
sexy and
Audi
flashy.
TT? That's the one I want.
Yeah.
You had it?
No, I had the Z4, the BMW.
Oh, Z4. I see.
And it was,
I knew you had the BMW.
But it was very expensive. It was very expensive. The cost of the living was so expensive, it was suffocating to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And the credit cards and this and that. So I was living a life that was way more expensive than I could afford. And the more money I was making, the more I was spending. So I was in the trap, and I think that's the kind of trance that most of us are in.
Most of us, yes.
Because of the magazines, because of the TV, because of all this programming that we're receiving. And so once I had this challenge and the suffering and like no more money, I had to come clean and really face that and say, you know what, if I'm not the car, if I'm not the job title that I had, if I'm not this and that, then who am I?
Yes.
And that really, and then something beautiful happened. I really start being really vulnerable in life, about life, and having this really fresh eye. And in that moment, I started painting rainbows. I had a backdrop for my videos, and it was a white page. And I started with a friend of mine, Anne-Sophie, that was French too, living in London. And we started just painting rainbows, and I had some wonderful conversation with my friend Baptiste de Pape, that is a filmmaker in Holland, and that I connected with.
her.
And so all these were really the two angels that work with me to help open the heart. And so since then, and you really see it in the book, the second book that's going to come out, all the new things that are then all of a sudden opening up because of that. It's the synchronicities, the true, juiciness of life that is less, into the condition, and I have this in order to, or I need that.
So how many people have you interviewed, and can you mention few?
Yeah. I've interviewed probably 700. I have more than 700 video interviews.
Wow. So you interviewed Neil Donald Walsh.
Neil Donald Walsh, Gary Zukav. That was many times on the Oprah show. It was awesome to interview him in person. Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, Barbara Max Hubbard, Don Miguel Ruiz with the Four Agreements. Yes. James Redfield, The Celestine Prophecy. That had a huge impact on many people's lives. Yes. Dr. Carl Kalman, that is an expert on the Maya calendar. Raw food chefs, everything that has to do with the mind, body, spirit. So, there is really, it's unlimited now. I love also Joe Dispenza. He was one of my favorite interviews. He lives 1 hour south of Seattle, and he was featured in What the Bleep Do We Know? But just so many people.
Joan Gray.
John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
So you interviewed people who are experts on my body, mind, spirit, relationships, woo-woo stuff.
Not woo-woo, that's the thing, is that I
in
really
many
bring
people's
it back.
eyes, but in many people's
Yeah.
eyes, raw food is woo-woo. Yoga is woo-woo.
Yeah, that's their issue.
But it's true. It's true. It is their issue.
Bless their heart.
It is.
But it is
If
really,
you look at
yeah.
people, go to regular store, Safeway, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
when you see what they buy, you can see the level of consciousness. Soda, chips, a bunch of sugar stuff. You understand that they don't watch. They don't have their relationship based on men are from Mars, women from Venus. They have based relationships on I'm a man or my way or a highway or whatever. So what you are doing actually is so normal to you, but I want to bring us back to the real world in which yoga is woo.
You know, no, that's where I really, because it is to me, I really want to bring spirituality into a normal world.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I really have my feet on the ground, and I'm going through some, you know, some things, and I also have my fears, and, you know, I cannot see angels or light or this and that. But I do feel the sense of connection deepening, the healing happening, the opening, and the beautiful, magical things happening because of really being open to all this. So it's not, so you know, to me, like, I want to make spirituality trendy and fun and accessible. And it is. Frankly, I believe that if you are not, then you're really missing on a
Like
huge
you and
chunk
I,
of life.
when we met yesterday. When did we meet? Yesterday?
Yeah, in
When
person.
we met, yes, first time yesterday. You entered into my car, and I felt like you have been in my car a million times. You felt the same.
Yes.
So that's, in some level, a certain spirituality which is not normal for this world. Hello, my name is such and such. Regular introductions. We didn't have that because we had something deeper. And that's bringing that to the world is liberating for everyone. But my question was, out of all the people you interviewed, and when I say woo-woo meaning raw food, what? People think raw food is salad. You can have a whole lasagna and pizza and feast and all kinds of cakes. Raw food.
Yeah.
People don't know that. Raw is my apple. That's it. So the whole movement, let's say, of raw food, movement of taking consciousness, awareness in relationship when you are dealing with your spouse, it's such a higher level. So my question was, out of all these people you interviewed, out of everything you heard, what were the things that you think would be the most important and relevant at this point in a world's energy to share?
That's a very, very important question.
Yes.
That is a very juicy one. I love it. A lot of things that come from all those people and teachers and people that I'm interviewing is really to be authentic, to be vulnerable, to speak our truth, to share our essence, you know, to even when things are not going right, to really dare to share that authentic, vulnerable side of ourselves. It is about raising our, you know, energy levels and doing things that makes us feel good and enjoy, you know, the present moment, coming back into the present moment. Even if we seem to not have time, where actually can create a whole new relationship with time. I feel sometimes quite time crush actually, and I extend the time now. I say, no, we have actually plenty of time to do whatever needs to be done. Eating, you know, raw, maybe not 100%, but eating more vibrant food because the enzymes are there, the vitamins. At some point, really, you really feel that the rest is dead and has nothing. It really, to me now, some foods have become kind of like it starts to fade and be invisible. I'm not seeing them as much. The raw food just pop with energy, and that's what I want to give my body. Living with an open heart. We learn that somebody's gonna do us something if we live from an open heart, and you're naive to be living with an open heart. But actually, there's huge wisdom. There's huge energy and magic that comes from the heart. So the more we do that, actually, the more we're aware and the more we're comfortable with situation, and we're not hurt by situation. We're really just living with it. and riding that wave and even being grateful sometimes when we can for those waves. So it's a total new paradigm. You know, I really do feel that now is a very important time on the planet where we choose, and that's what a lot of those conversations come down to. Are you going to choose love or fear? Are you gonna, what kind of decisions? Where are your decisions based? And that's a very, very important question that can radically change a person's life. Because once we start to choose from love, it's not the same people we hang out with. It's not the same, you know, television that we start watching. It's not the same food, etc.
It's not the same vocabulary we use.
Yeah. And that's not the easy path. That's not the easiest path, because it's a path of healing where also there is some things that we're going to have to face. And it's about being 100% responsible for our reality too. So it is, but it's just so fulfilling to come outside of our comfort zone, to decondition ourselves from the everyday routine, you know, things that we think we're trapped in, and the job, and it's just, there's so much more to that. It's really quite interesting, all the things that we can tell ourselves not to go to those places that are truly dear to our heart.
And if somebody is watching your shows or watching this show for the first time, meeting you, and then goes and Googles you, you are all over the internet, all over everywhere, and then they said, okay, I would like to start living juicy. Yeah. But I don't know how. What would you recommend to them as a first, easy, simple, doable, today doable step?
I would say the first step is really to, for me at least, the first step was to be grateful for things. So each time before I go to bed, I would say 5 things I'm grateful for during the day.
You say out loud?
I said it in my head, no, I don't even write it. I just, you know, just before, I do sleep quite easily, so I have to do that really quick, just when I hit the pillow, and just like
maybe that's why you sleep easily.
Yeah, that's also another reason. Actually, a friend of mine took this on, and it truly transformed her life, because she was really stressed by her work, but just by saying things at the end of the day, instead of all the things that she hasn't done and all the things that she was blaming herself for, or, you know, or to do tomorrow, she was in that place of gratitude and then slept, much, much better. Yeah. So 5 things, I say to myself, 5 things that I'm grateful for, and that can be anything from a smile from a stranger to the nourishing food, or for the sun, the sun shining, or for being in Hawaii right now, or yes. Or for having a computer, or, you know, the chance to interact, to be healthy. There's so many things, and the more you go into gratitude, the more it expands. It's like this unlimited thing. And it deepens and deepens and deepens, and I hope one day I'll be so profoundly touched and moved by life that I'll have tears in my eyes, you know, as I witnessed with Neil Donald Walsh, that I'll just, like, everything will be profoundly moving. Because that's a place where it's very freeing. Then you don't really need anything. Then you see that there's really nothing that we need.
Because you have everything.
Yeah.
You have your life, you have your love, you have your heart. You show up with your heart.
Yeah.
Not with your story. And that's beautiful. Yeah. You show up, you have it.
And the story goes up sometimes, but, you know, comes up.
As we said in the last show, from that you go through, and there is this diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have only a few minutes left. Again, the shows go really fast. I was wondering if you can share with us your future plans. I know you told me you don't really like to plan because you live in a moment, things just flow to you. And I will not ask you, you know, family plans, children, blah, blah, but just the general, what's next in your life? What is your intention to create?
Huge, 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 beautiful, juicy things are coming. Yes. I feel it. I'm so connected to that energy. It's just so close. What seems so far, you know, yesterday is really so close right here inside. So I'm going to finish the Juicy Living Tour. There's another 6 months. I'm coming back to Kauai that I absolutely loved. I fell in love with the island. So I'll come back for a full month in October. Then I'm creating right now the space to go possibly to South America for 2-3 months during the whole 11-11-11. And there's so many things. I might as well expand it to the Americas while I'm here. Next year, my intention is to do it in Europe, 1 country every month. I'm originally from France, and there's a lot of people watching there in Scandinavia.
Oh, when you go to Croatia,
UK.
I can show you around.
Yes.
We'll go to Croatia together.
Boom.
That would be fun. That would be fabulous. We're going to Croatia. Croatia.
Yeah.
Okay. I know many people who can interview there.
So all those things you see, that's exactly
That's how it happens. Exactly. That's it.
As we're sharing our magic and love, things just come like that because it attracts other like-minded spirits, and it's wonderful. And the other thing is starting a publishing company with a big publishing company.
Your other 2 new books.
My other 2 new books that are finishing, and so really expanding in the publishing world because I'm meeting all those amazing people. Some people are self-published that I want to publish, that I want to promote. I might as well promote, the authors, my authors.
Your crowd.
And there is just so many things, including I would love to come really regularly to Kauai. I love Hawaii.
You know what? I would like to move to Kauai, but I don't like to say that. You will be here, girl.
Yes.
This will be your postal address, your home.
Yes.
Your dolphins, your experiences, your
I love
turtles.
the dolphins. Doing a DVD with the dolphins in a few weeks' time because I will be going next to Maui.
Yeah.
While I'm in Maui, I want to fly back to Big Island to do a DVD with the dolphins and meditation. I feel the dolphin energy
You're
is so special.
Funny. You're so funny. You're in Oahu, you're saying, I'm going to Kauai. While I'm on Maui, I'm going back to Big Island. You're just going everywhere.
Yes. Yes, there's
It's
no
wonderful.
limit. There's
It's
no
wonderful.
limit.
Yes.
The limit is really, there's no limit. As long as it's aligned, as long as I feel good. And if I have the green light, as I say, if usually I say that to myself, if I don't feel the green light, then I don't go. If it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. But if it feels right, I just move very forward, very quickly towards it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Helena.
I just love you. And people were waiting for us to have a show together. Juicy and delicious. So
Juicy and delicious came together.
So if you want to have a wonderful, juicy life, if you want to co-create your own reality, don't do it yourself. Join Lilou Macé. Google her. She's everywhere. If you lost your job and you hate it, read the book and love it, isn't it?
Yes.
So last 5 words of wisdom.
Do it!
Now we can say
That was 2.
yes. Short and sweet. Do it, live delicious, live juicy, and have a wonderful life. Thank you, Lilou.
Thank you.